Maxine Fenson is the founder and managing director of Maxine's and Larry Flynt's Hustler Club in Melbourne. Maxine is a well-known identity in Melbourne and a successful adult entertainment entrepreneur with several business interests ranging from restaurants and club interest to an online wholesale and retail lingerie business. Maxine regularly travels between Australia and the United States in developing her business empire. First of all, Maxine, great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
What got you into this industry?
Basically, I had a mortgage to pay, and it was really, there was no thought in place, no business plan. I was working on air for Channel 9, and I was sacked after 3 years. They told me I was too old, I had no talent, and nobody liked me.
It took me 3 years to realise that.
Yeah, I was just all rubbish. And then at the same time, I had like a dance company, and it was almost like I had to make a forced change. And so that all fell apart within a space of a week, and so I needed to make money. So I saw an ad in the Herald Sun for a topless waitress, and I kind of agonised over that for about 3 weeks, and then I thought, look, I'm just going to go for it. And I, of course, got the job, lasted a week, but saw what this guy was doing, and I thought, look, I could do this. He was running this really tacky restaurant. And I thought, well, I know lots of men, I could do that. And that's kind of how it started, but it was never anything that was like long-term. I didn't have any long-term plan. It was just a means of making money just to get my mortgage paid.
Is it a male-dominated industry?
Absolutely.
I mean, first of all, it's an industry which sometimes we don't talk about.
It's taboo, that's for sure, even though it's a legitimate business and, people hold, corporate functions at these places now. I mean, I have a boardroom and I have people who've held functions in my boardroom, and including general meetings, but definitely a male-orientated business. Definitely the locals don't like me at all. The general public do, but the men in the adult industry don't like me at all.
But a hugely successful industry.
Hugely successful, a lot of money to be made.
What's the taboo bit about? I mean, it's 2008.
Well,
we still have this taboo stuff.
Well, it's almost a double standard because, you can go to the Crown, of course, and you can see male strippers, even though they just go to a G-string, and that's quite acceptable. It just goes back to thousands and thousands of years ago. It's this whole taboo thing about looking at the female body. When you seriously look at it, it's just men going to have a look at women, drinking alcohol, having a good time, and going home. That's it, basically.
Where do you want to be with your empire, your business, in the future? I mean, what's the ultimate goal?
I guess to probably get Maxine's. I'd probably want to open a club standing alone of Maxine's, instead of just having headquarters of Maxine's at Larry Flynt's Hustler Club, and also seeing Hustler develop up and down the eastern seaboard and also into the Asian market as well.
So it's a huge business empire.
Yeah.
The Larry Flynt empire hustler thing sort of interests me. How did you get involved with that? Again, it's a male-dominated industry.
It's actually very interesting considering that, they're misogynists, the two brothers, they're total male chauvinist pigs, delicious people, lovely people. But they really gave me a chance, as did Harry Money, who's my business partner, who basically started the whole chain of men's clubs throughout the world, and also basically took people to court and changed the whole laws in America, thanks to him. So he's a real pioneer. I think they generally like women. I think they really believed in this wacky, loud-mouthed, outgoing Australian. And
who wasn't scared to
no,
not backward and coming
whereas
forward.
The men here, all they want to do is they don't want to deal with me. They find me quite confronting, and they just find me difficult to deal with, which I'm not at all, but they just don't want me. They'd rather see me at McDonald's as a casual cleaning a dunny. That would make them sort of happy. But I met Larry Flynt in Berlin 6 years ago at the Venus Festival, and basically got to know his family, and basically it was like, well, let's do something. So it's taken, the relationship's taken some time, but I'm their Australian connection, I'm their Aussie family.
How big is the sex industry in Australia?
Well, it's small compared to in the States. I mean, in Melbourne alone, we only have a few clubs, and I don't see any more opening up because of how tight the laws are as far as getting a sexually explicit licence and also a liquor licence. So it's not that big, It's a medium size compared to there are thousands of clubs in the States, but there's a bigger population, of course.
You've embraced technology as a business. Let's talk about some of your websites.
Oh yes, Miss Erotica, Lesbian Lust, Miss Nude.
Lesbian Lust.
Yeah, they have a Lesbian Lust pageant. Lesbianlust.com.au. I also started the Adult Industry Awards, which is adultawards.com.au, and that was basically to validate the industry and let people be recognised for their hard work, and basically to give them a, good on you, mate, for, running a very successful, well-run business, such as could be a brothel, it could be a sex shop, could be like just a one-girl operator escort service, strip club, whatever. So it's in its 8th year and it's going strong.
How do you decide which market you want to enter into? I mean, is there an overabundance of venues around Melbourne, or is there room for more? And you mentioned Asia, you mentioned Australia, and so I mean, how do you decide which areas you want to go into?
Well, as far as sexually explicit entertainment, there's really no room in Melbourne unless you actually buy an existing business. Because if you go and buy it like a shell and then apply for a liquor licence, sexually explicit licence, it's going to take you forever because all the other clubs will basically oppose it. So for me, I'm looking to expand and just buying up other businesses, looking to go into Asia as well, which is, we're getting a good response and definitely will be there within the next 12 months.
You are a successful businesswoman, but how would you define success for yourself?
Staying at the Four Seasons. Love the Four Seasons. My goal is to stay in every hotel of the Four Seasons throughout the world.
So which is your favourite Four Seasons?
I love the Beverly Hills Four Seasons. I love the staff there. They're so good. Vegas is nice, but I love the one down near San Diego, La Costa. It's delicious.
Do you collect the little amenities inside?
Oh yeah,
take
of
them
course,
home?
yeah.
Suitcase full of soaps and
a few
stuff?
little bits and pieces. But I know that all the staff at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills, and that's like mind-boggling because you see every star known to man there, like in their natural habitat, just sitting there drinking a champagne. And I've met all sorts of people. Like I've met Sean Penn, I've met Joe Pesci, I've met Byling, I've met so many people there. It's just like interesting. And it's nice. They look after me and give me a great rate, which is important. Cheap rate.
Okay, now, if you were to give advice, just using your experience in business, to somebody thinking about moving into business.
Into my business?
No, just into business. What sort of advice would you give?
Well, I think, do your homework, definitely. And networking is really important. Always watch, who you stamp on the way up because you might meet them on the way down.
Yep.
But I just think, just be a good person, do your homework, be professional, pay your taxes, run your business properly, and you'll always go well.
Should it be done from the heart or from the head?
I think a bit of both. I think you've got to have some passion, that's for sure. You have to be passionate about otherwise, what's the point? You might as well just go and get a 9-to-5 job working for someone.
Did you ever think you'd be this part of your life now, 10 years ago?
No, I never even thought I'd be in this business. I actually went to a clairvoyant years ago, and he said to me, I don't know what you're going to be doing, but you're going to be working with a lot of men. So, I guess that held true, but I didn't have a clue. And I guess if you actually said to me, I've been in business 25 years, if you said to me I was going to do this sort of thing, I would have been mortified, because all I wanted to do was, have a business of some sort. I actually wanted to be an actor, or something, in that sort of line, but that just wasn't, it wasn't going to happen for me. There's no industry really here. So I just fell into something, and who knew?
Do you still enjoy the business?
I do. I get disappointed in people sometimes, but yes, I do. I love it, yeah.
What do you see are the major limitations to the industry in Australia?
I think just the girls, actually. I think the girls limit themselves because they don't see themselves as a business a lot of the time, where they can actually have a great opportunity to make a lot of money and be focused. Instead of they see it as a kind of like a lifestyle. I'm not saying all girls. A lot of girls are really smart and, they buy their homes and set themselves up. But I find that really limits them, and in turn that limits me because they don't come to work or they just don't have that work ethic. So I find that disappointing.
If you weren't in the adult entertainment industry, where would you be? What would you be doing? Would you be at home in Ringwood,
No.
Moccasins, no?
I'd probably be living overseas.
Yes.
I'm really...
Soireeing around?
Or maybe. I'm really into beauty and health and that sort of thing. I love animals. I'd probably be breeding dogs somewhere and probably have a rainbow of children. Who knows? I mean, and that's still on the cards for me too, but I mean, who knows?
In a word, how would you describe the adult industry, say in Melbourne? One word.
Oh, I think it's successful.
And what about, in a word, how would you describe yourself?
Highly successful.
That's 2 words.
But
you can cheat. I'll let you.
Okay. Well, I would just describe myself as being, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's been fabulous chatting with you.
Oh, thanks very much. It's been lovely talking to you as well.
Talk to you later too.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right. Done?